Hello and welcome to LSE Impact. You join us after a fortnight of bloody and brutal conflict in the Middle East, controversy surrounding the ULU sabbatical team and an NUS demonstration. Today, I, Tony Richards, will be reporting on these three issues. After months of tension between Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the Palestinian Hamas, the conflict was sparked by a rocket attack that initially killed 3 Israeli civilians. What followed was a conflict that would consume far more lives than that, in the form of an Israeli offensive that would kill over 120, 30 of which we now know were civilians. US President Obama supported the Israeli action, whilst Prime Minister David Cameron called for calm on both sides. By Wednesday, it looked as if Israel were preparing for a full ground invasion of Gaza. However, Hillary Clinton had been deployed in the region to establish peace talks, which were successful, with an effective ceasefire coming into effect 2 nights ago at 7 p.m. The ceasefire appears to be holding, but the conditions are strict. If any disillusioned or undisciplined element of Hamas were to continue firing rockets, Israel have pledged they will continue their bombardment. Moving to student politics now, and today, ULU Vice President Daniel Cooper faces impeachment over his refusal to lay a memorial wreath over a University of London Remembrance Sunday ceremony. In this exclusive interview with ULU President Michael Chesham, he explains Cooper's actions and where he stands on them. He started by explaining issues of low turnout and what he would do about them.
ULU's current voting system is terrible. One of the things I'd like to look into doing is having local colleges, local students' unions host the ULU elections within their own colleges, maybe running alongside their own elections.
We then moved on to the issue of Cooper, which he anticipated.
I'd like to turn to an issue that now has no doubt been prominent in the first few weeks of your term in office.
Yes.
Well, there are many people calling for the resignation of Vice President Daniel Cooper.
I don't think he should resign for two reasons. First, obviously, the procedural one I just outlined, that the constitutional processes exist for a reason, and I don't think it's right to, frankly, to witch hunt someone out of office on the way of what I think has been some pretty poor displays of hysteria around this issue. But my own personal opinion is that Daniel did the right thing. My view, I mean, I've written very publicly in the London Student about my politics about remembrance, is that I cannot commemorate the war dead of Iraq or Flanders alongside Tony Blair or General Haig.
LSE's own students got an opportunity to cast their verdict on Cooper's actions in a recent UGM. The UGM decided not to condemn Cooper's actions by a razor-thin majority of 1. I think The Independent last week sums up this issue best. When it comes to Cooper's right to free speech, that should probably be maintained. However, when we look at the huge backlash that this issue has created, one can't help thinking that this whole matter could have been handled with a greater level of political sensitivity. A protest to mark the 2nd anniversary of the 9K tuition fee protest took place a few days ago, and I was there. I'd have to say it was a bit of a washout, both literally and metaphorically, nowhere near the tens of thousands that turned out in 2010. There was some excitement as an anarchist breakaway group attempted to charge the police line guarding Parliament Square, but they were successfully rounded off. For a moment, it looked as if the police had kettled the protesters outside Parliament. However, as I investigated, there was a group inside the protest who were blocking the way for the rest of the people to get across Westminster Bridge. And in other news, Jason Wong displayed upset after someone vandalised his Free Sun newspaper stand.
I think this is this is catastrophic. This is symbolic of some of the radical feminists. I mean, I'm a feminist. I'm a member of the Feminist Society.
He set up the stand in protest to LSE's UGM motion of banning the newspaper from the Union shop. This has been LSE Impact. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and the Loose TV site. I'm Tony Richards, reporting for Loose TV. Thank you for watching.